Hello everyone and welcome into yet another live stream. Hi there. Hi there Adrian, hi and welcome. How's your day going? Does that mean we do a Balatro stream? No, unfortunately we do not. We do not do a Balatro stream. That's because there's a video to be made. A chemistry video in fact, on which we shall work. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Yeah, okay. Well, I need to move my coffee cup. Just make myself a... just for this stream. To wake up. So I just woke up. And I need something to wake me up. Okay. Last stream we rendered a bit of a long animation. And that is this one. Right here. This one right here. This will be the intro. Oh, there's a lot of noise. That makes sense, I suppose. 256 frames might not be enough. It's quite lovely though, isn't it? The entirety of the last video in a single shot. Yeah, we will need to add like a couple more. This keeps confusing me. Is that the proton? Yes, there's a proton experience system. We'll need a couple more shots later on, but for now... Oh wait, we've saved that as bonds 1. I don't know if I like it. That's because... what I'm going to do is... go to the frames, create a new folder, call it intro. And the reason why is because we're going to move the intro animation into the intro, and this will be our place for all the intro animations. It's very lovely. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. It does look quite nice, the colors. I imagine then we'll need to take some kind of route, because so far we went like this. It'd be nice if I went then like this, something. Or maybe like a wave, that would be neat. Because I don't just want to do a straight line. I feel like it's... Or maybe we do a straight line. Or maybe the straight line would be best. It is the bonding video, by the way. I'm so sorry I missed that. Yeah, it is the bonding video. And I do believe... Oh, maybe a straight line. Actually, that could be quite something. So basically, we will need... We need like a... What if we do a straight gay line? A byline? You mean, yes. Because I imagine something like... Camera 1. Okay, let's create a new camera. Delete all the keyframes. And then we could have it go like... this sort of thing. So let's say 100, and we'll end like this, without this kind of rotation. Nope. Oh no. So this would have to be minus 90 then, and then this would have to be up like 80. Yes. Hi the comedian, hi! Hi and holy fingerball, hi and welcome! You're alone today? What do you mean? I'm with Adrian. Now let's just do an array. I did set up geometry nodes specifically for this so I could like multiply the floor. Why is the floor a cube? Oh, it was for the physics sim. No, we don't need it. We don't actually need it to be a physics sim. Okay, beautiful. I didn't mess anything up, did I? Because there's a possibility... No, it doesn't appear, so that's good. Okay, so basically, I do believe, this is a bit more upsetting. This right here, which is the focal point, we have to put like right here, and then this is where our orbital will be, basically. Or like right here, maybe. Yes. This is where orbital would be, which means that y coordinates -2. Oops, they're drag racing outside my window again. Unbelievable. Some people, honestly, some people which have absolutely no manners. I would need this to be a bit more sophisticated. Nomination. There we go. Like right here, we'd like it to go probably a bit higher. I don't think this will be good enough, because the thing is, if we can take a look at the entire scene, it makes sense, but if we zoom in, it's going to look like this. And there's a bit much going on. Yeah, damn it, the focal length is way too short. Is your syncing probably? Yeah, it is. They unclogged it, basically. Hi there, Rolo. Is that water right here in the background? It's my dishwasher. Yeah, my apologies. I just set my dishwasher to go and... Well, can't really turn it off at this point. We're kind of stuck with it a bit. What if instead of going up... Ooh, what if I'm an idiot? What if instead of going up, we just go in between like this? Oh yes, absolutely. I like it. There we go, this sort of thing. No, it has to be more fluid, like this. And then we'd have to keep going. Like this. Oh, that's a bit weird. I suppose it is, but I don't know if there is a way to make this normal. I suppose I could make the distances a bit more equal. That would be something. There we go. Hi there, Subdi. Hi. Was the 69,000 special? I'll be brutally honest with you, I don't really have anything in mind for the 69,000 special. I don't know if that's sort of thing I would celebrate. Okay, let's do 65 because we prefer even numbers to deal with right here. And so we don't want the focal point to be going from the beginning, we'd rather have it go like from here. And then as we keep going with the camera, then the focus should be hopefully directly on what's in front of us. Make the leg reveal. Oh shucks, these are turned off, what do you mean? Oh no, what do you mean? Why would you disappear? Oh, piss cakes. Delete this and delete this. There we go. That's more proper. And I missed the spheres then for the first animation because I forgot to remove the keyframes from the shade nodes as well. Okay, I could switch to this view. This would make it much easier to see the... This would be much easier to see without the actual rendered view, but this would allow us to see the focal points. Okay, I should probably wait for it to load and everything. It's quite a fair bit of objects and shaders, and a lot of them are volumes with... Okay, that's not too bad, I'd say. Not too terrible at all. And then here's where we begin the video. We begin it with one S orbital, and then two S orbital, and then two PX. I suppose we would need to probably... do we showcase all the orbitals? No, for now we just do one S. Yes. This looks like a video about chemical bonding. It will be about chemical bonding, about all kinds of bonds. All the bonds possible. We even go to states of matter. That's how far it will go. Okay. All of this I need to do with metaballs. Now, metaballs are a curious thing in Blender. That's because they're basically... they're a bit annoying to work with. Oh my goodness, where's it in? Is it in this collection? Something here should be selected. There it is. Outside you go. Metaballs are curious things because metaballs basically like a very specific kind of geometry without geometry, if you get what I mean. And you shouldn't, because it doesn't make any sense. He's gonna help me with GE-Prep. What kind of doing chemical bonding is cool. Then this video might actually genuinely help. Because in here I'll be explaining chemical bonds the way I understand them. So, after a really long time of not understanding chemical bonds, this is how I finally... Manekini and Tori are the three raccoons that make it. Where'd you get these names? I thought their names were Ma, Ki, and T. I thought that was the names. Right, we'll need some kind of EC shader for this. That's because whatever shader we decide on right now, I recommend us just getting drunk AF. For what? I recommend it just as a solution to something, I imagine. I don't understand why back bonding doesn't occur above 3p orbitals. Oh, back bonding. Isn't back bonding just a polar covalent bond? Manekini Tori. Oh, I see. Now I get it. Okay. That went way over my head. That makes sense. Okay. Okay, mapping, and here's what we'll need. Actually, it's a good question. First of all, I imagine way more metallic, way less roughness to make it highly reflective. Then a color ramp, like this. There we go. Hide Tefta. Kind of are parentheses really negligible from 3p to 3p. I mean, if back bonding is just a polar covalent bond, I will explain that. I have the whole point of this video is that I don't really want to explain the rules of chemistry from like a classical point of view, like it's taught in schools, where where I basically just tell you every single type and basically you have to memorize it. Only I prefer to do it in a way where I explain the background, and then from the background you can figure out what it means for yourself. We need to go to yellow with this one, which means like this. Yes. Okay. Why is this blurry? When you read that short. Oh, f-stop is 0.3. I suppose we could end on 1, but we could start at like 0.1. Maybe 0.3 was good actually for the start. There we go. I don't think that's too terrible, because this time if I set it up like this, then we won't have to deal with the volume later on, which I would appreciate. Also, we could increase transmission, but that might screw things up later. Basically, what I'm mainly looking for is... No, you see, this is a problem. Hold on, let me show you the problem. And the problem we are having. The problem we're having is in the fact that if I now take this metaball and if I merge them together, then you can see the noise texture gets like really wonky and it moves. When I move the other object, it moves, which is not what we want. Which I think there was well, one of the texture coordinates, because right here we have a whole bunch of options. Please isn't the object? No. It won't be normal. Will it be? Oh my goodness, I haven't even plugged it in. Okay, generated. It's not generated. I thought it was object. It is object. Splendid. So object would mean that as we move this, then the texture changes rather than... It's not just reflection moving, not the texture. No, it is the texture. I can show you like this. This will probably make it easier to see. That's because... Well, hi there, Gatsy. It actually scared me this time. I wasn't paying attention. That's because with the generated... I mean, I can actually show you what it means. I feel like it'll be much more explanatory. The generated, it goes from 0 to 1 from... And it's like normalized for the size of the object, which means no matter how far I move them, one side will always be at a 1, the other side will always be at 0. Which is why when I move the texture, it tries to normalize it and tries to move it. Which is the difference between objects, because with the object, you can see that the coordinates are already in place, and then as you move them, it changes. Which means like this will stop the change. However, the problem is that right now it won't look proper either. And I feel like I could go for like a maybe more of a space texture, because that's pretty easy to achieve. I've done it many times. And the way I always do this, like, sort of nebula sort of thing, added to the stars. Which means this would be the nebula. I plugged it into color, no. This would be the nebula, which means like this. Beautiful, and then this just increased in size. Actually, we could have 3 scales. So this one would be 50. These ones will be really bright, but there won't be many of them. 100 per chance. And then right here, we will have ever so slightly larger, but it will be a 5. There we go. That's something. This blender stuff looks so complicated. How do you do this? You get used to complexity. You get used to it. There is a certain kind of workflow you can go with. I like this. I think I like this. Transparency adds to it as well. The fact that it's reflecting everything in the background is nice. Now we will need to make two animations here basically. The first one where we'll go over the entire scene like this. End up with the orbit one zone. Let me just see if the colors are correct and if it's not too far. Okay, I don't think it is too far. And the colors appear to be roughly correct. Yeah. I suppose render animation then. Then we'll need to make another animation, this time in the newer file, where we already removed all of the objects from the previous one. And then we will have the intro. Almost finished.
My Discord. Hello.
Your Discord what?
It's like really fucked and I have no idea why.
In what way?
Like, it wouldn't launch today, I reinstalled it and it still doesn't have a fucking icon. It's just like a blank file.
Oh.
What is happening?
It's Electron, I do believe. That's the I think that was the name of
yeah.
the...
Those damn electrons. Okay, my shit up it again.
No. I think Electron.js, that's the, like, the thing that allows you to make an application that's effectively your website. And those applications are famous for absolutely sucking. It is Electron, yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, I know. It's like coded in HTML, I know that much, but you know? Why?
No, I mean not coded, literally a website. If you press Ctrl-Shift-I, you can get inspect element.
I don't...
Electron applications are famous for being... Yeah. It's not a website, it's a whole fucking browser. I mean, yeah. And it's basically like a cheap move to easily make an app. Back in my day, we used to fucking make graphical engines, not use browsers.
Lovely.
And they're basically very unstable every single time.
Well, I guess, there we go.
I've only been to view those. View those are like this. This is a Python. What's important to see? Ah, my goodness, what kind of difference am I going to? Hold on. Sigma, actually pi bond, energy levels. That's what we're interested in. That is in fact what we are interested in. Alright, LibreText. Go on, spill beans. How does this video have a form? Yep. Oh, that's... okay. That much I do know. What I'm mainly looking for is the relation of energy levels between a pi bond and a sigma. Well, the difference. Like, I would like to see. I like to see the energy levels in relation. Oh, with units, that would also be nice. But I imagine units would be specific for each case, for each molecule. I need to wake up. Hi there, eggs. Hi, I am working on a video. Doing a bit of research at the moment, actually.
You still EP?
Yeah. All type of metal ligand interactions. You can't have a metal bound to a ligand via a sigma bond because they're all pi bonds. Okay, so here's the pickle I'm having. Pi bond doesn't really isn't really dependent on, well, I mean, it's kind of, it can, sure, okay. Basically, the point I'm trying to convey is that you can have a sigma bond between two p orbitals. So pi bond isn't an inherent nature of the p orbitals, no d orbitals, no any of them. It's more that when it comes to bonds, I do believe it was rotational nodes. I mean nodes in general. I think it was dependent on the oscillator nodes. Doesn't matter. Where this is a sigma bond, this is a pi bond, and if you have 4 of them, like this, hold on. I'm drawing a hot dog. There we go. This is a delta bond. And you can actually have a sigma bond between two p orbitals, because if you have two p orbitals this way, right, this is your first p orbital, this is your second p orbital, then right here, this is a sigma bond. Nigga, how does the F orbital look like? The F orbital? Ah, it's a bit tricky. It's gonna be the really confusing one. It's just going to have 3 nodes, won't it? Actually, I don't know. I don't know what an F orbital looks like, fortunately. We can just check. Best chemistry website on the internet, people. ptable.com. My beloved. Apparently like this, you just have 6 of them.
Yeah, it's just lovely. It's a pretty length video, like at least 2 times.
I don't like this website, this is great. You can just go there and you can just see everything. Is it called the nodal plane? Hold on. Chemistry nodal plane? I think it might have been. Nodal plane! My goodness, I've nailed it.
You're so smart, boy.
I am incredible. Yeah, so basically, like that defines nodal planes. The only question is, how do I script this exactly? How do I convey this better? Isn't this a big website? You're on the internet. Have you talked about psi graphs? What do you mean about psi? I talk about wave functions. I don't know. I don't know what a psi graph is. If you had to teach topology, would you use donut coffee cup joke like everyone else? If I had to teach topology, I would probably just call in Reblax. Because Reblax explained topology to me once.
Or Theo to talk about holes.
No, I feel like I would go with Reblax, because Reblax already explained proper topology. I mean, we have access to the whiteboard here. Hold on. I don't know if it was on the livestream whiteboard or if it was on the non-livestream whiteboard. I need to check. Okay, there we go. Was it this one? I don't think it was.
Well, mock jump scare.
No, this is linear algebra. Or maybe. This looks like the introduction to topology. but that's not it. Yeah, that's not it. It was on the off stream. It was on the off stream voice chat.
What?
Yeah, I feel like what we should do is we should first do energy, and then I can go into the shapes exactly, and then explain the pi bond in the perspective of the nodal planes. Chemistry was always my weak link. Well, if you go to https://www.youtube.com/@makeithappen, then you will get a stronger link for chemistry. energy levels of different chemical bonds. That's what we're looking for. Bond energies, yes. No. I take it back, it's not what we're looking for. Molecular orbital theory, I suppose. Oh, this is spot on. Need. Be not afraid. Okay, makes sense. If you to bring in two p orbitals, well, 6, then what you get is 2 sigma bonds and 4 pi bonds. That's because each one, depending on how the nodal planes interact. Yeah. Switching up to another occurs when a phenomenon called experiencing does not create new orbitals, merely influences the energies of existing orbitals. Sigma wave function of the sigma version of the antibody orbitals undergo SP mixing if becoming less stable as quickly becoming less stable. This is actually the exact path we'll go over. That's why we're going over like this, and then to metallic. No, I was watching it too, so... Okay. I don't know how to approach this. I know what I need to talk about in this chapter, I just don't know how to approach this. How to skin this apple. We'll be covering hybrid orbitals in brief or in detail. I don't know yet, to be completely honest. I do not know. But what's important to see is their energy. Levels. So basically, when we have a sigma bond, oh, we can do it like a top-down view and then keep expanding as we go in line. That's a good idea. You'll see what I mean in a second. I'm literally animated on stream. Why do you think quantum mechanics are so fucking mind-bendingly tough? Well, the quantum mechanics inherently isn't. It's just that advanced quantum mechanics is. But I mean, the reason why it's pretty simple like because it's advanced.
Unintuitive?
Not
because it's quantum?
Not really. I mean, there are some things that are unintuitive, but... Well, it kind of happens all the time in science. Of any kind. You always have like things that aren't intuitive. No matter how far you go. Hold on, let me think of an example. For example, it's kind of difficult to say where quantum field theory ends. because I can't use light as an example or anything. Okay, there are a lot of unintuitive things in quantum mechanics, that's fair. What part of the script are you stuck on? I'm stuck on this part, because I don't know in what way, what order I should go in. Where do I want to end? I want to end at... Like, the fact it's non-deterministic is the part that confuses me. Oh, it's a simple cause. It's just the randomness. That's a... I mean, there isn't really much more to the non-deterministic part. You just kind of need to accept it. It's not really confusing, it's just a tough pill to swallow. I mean, I have a way to explain sigma and pi bonds. I also have a way to explain sigma and pi bonds. That's not what I'm struggling with. What I'm struggling with is the order in which I should explain things. Because basically, Harsh, what I need to cover in this case is I need to cover the shapes, the energies, the differences, and the interactions between the bonding orbitals and the non-bonding orbitals. And all I need to figure out now is what order I should talk about them so that it will be just intuitive and reasonable and anyone will understand. I feel like energy level is the best start. Have a sip. But let me just see I'm not reheating anything too much. Sigma bond, the bonding sigma is lower in energy than orbitals, whilst the anti-bonding is higher. Do keep in mind that less energy means more stable bond, because everything in the universe quantum mechanics is something I only seen from a pop science perspective. Thank God I study math. Well, Lasbinde, if you've only seen it from a pop science perspective, that means you haven't been watching my videos. Because I did actually explain quantum mechanics from a non-pop science perspective. And have suffered all for it. If you want to see quantum mechanics from a non-pop science perspective, then, believe it or not, I have a whole series just dedicated to absolutely torturing everyone who watches it. Because right here, this is me explaining how you can have an... Oh my goodness, finite fields. This. The bracket notation, for example. It took me 22 minutes of a video to explain bracket notation. I don't know, eventually I may do episode 5. Have you made a video on general relativity, Make It? I have not. No, although I have been planning for a while. I want to have as little energy as possible. This means that what? Hi, the Caper, hi. New video getting cooked up, I see. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Bond is stable, whilst this one isn't. And right here, when I say this one, obviously we're gonna have electrons on the bonding sigma. When I'll say this one isn't, then we'll have both on the bonding and anti-bonding. So a bond between two hydrogen is stable, whilst helium is not. Now let's add the p orbitals to the picture like so. We've got additional... Oh, I might need to rasterize this actually. Stuck on second, oh no. So, additional 2 orbitals per subshell? Fine, let's call it the subshell, why not? We're going into chemistry anyway, might as well call it the subshell. Got 3 orbitals per side. This is what they all look like, if you remember. Wait, is that a 2p or 2s actually? Is 2s higher energy than 2p? And yeah, I'm gonna check it on p table because it's the easiest way to check. No, 2s is lower obviously, which means below that we'll actually need a 2s. That's a bit unfortunate, isn't it? That's a bit unfortunate. Because somewhere right here I'll need to sneak in a very sneaky... Yeah, I'll need to do a very sneaky...
Very sneaky.
A very sneaky transition. Really? You're not gonna make a joke or anything? I full on set up.
You and your sneaky transitions.
I full on set up this like ball for you. You're welcome. A perfect pitch.
What am I supposed to say? Haha, transition funny?
I don't know, I was thinking it's not gonna punchline. Okay, I know, sneaky transition. And just say, well, we all can see that you're taking testosterone or something. Trying to visualize sigma and pi bonds feels impossible. Why? Hide the bed, like, oh,
You can be sneaky.
piss, Katsi, you've
I
infected.
think you could sneakily fucking grow massive bahongas and nobody would realize. You know?
Katsi, you're infected, bedsick.
Wow. It's spreading.
And see, P means this kind of hourglass shape. Okay. And each of these orbitals is just a different orientation. Now when they bond, they produce a single 2 pi bonds and a single sigma bond. We've already got a couple of things to discuss, and in this case I first need to explain the energy only, then we can move on to the why they can't even bond with sigma. 50% of my messages are meows already. Why is debates in Python such a pain in the ass when it has to be coordinated with Discord and API at the same time? Holy shit. I don't know, I've never bothered to deal with an async database. I just do it synchronously, like a normal person. I'll make it. How have you been? I'm tired as always. Muffler, that I don't think anyone's ever greeted me, but I like the honesty. It's very refreshing. It is very refreshing to hear someone greet me with such honesty. I get Sigma bottle, but Sigma. Oh, come on, that's a you're a comedian. I don't think a comedian greets me with such honesty. Let me see. And let me see the exact wording. No, a comedian just joined in and asked me if I'm alone today, which I mean... First of all, pi bonds. Smaller Friends G sigma bonds. This makes weaker and okay, think about it this way. Imagine that you have a weight on a shelf. Make it, don't get the wrong idea, don't worry, I understand. Actually, heck, imagine you have 2 weights on the shelf. I feel like I should say that once per each episode of the series. Heck, imagine you have 2 weights on a shelf. One heavy, one lighter. I did ask, hello, make it, how are you? I know, no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that Maflova said, you sound as tired as always. Oh, sorry, you sound tired as always. And that's the honesty I appreciate. Do you know where the names of SPDF, periodic table blocks, and sigma pi delta phi bonds come from? Roughly, I know that SPDF, SPD, they were all words. They all stood for something. I don't remember what they stand for though, because sharp, principle, diffuse, fundamental. There we go, yeah. Make it, will you play a GregTech Minecraft mod pack? No.
That is one of the worst ideas of all time.
Answer, by the way, sleep deprived me was at a hardware store today. Great start. And there was some, I fixed it too. So long story short, I stood there wondering when did Make It start selling screwdrivers for a few minutes. Superman, Power Girl, Dark Side Fish. The 4 orbitals.
Classic 4 orbitals, damn.
Yeah, and DC actually stands for discontinuous, which is another way to say quantum. If drop a heavyweight use a lot of energy. Here on the sides I'll add these bars to represent potential energy of the weights. As you can see, they both start at about the same point because potential energy is relative. I was about to start with as you can see, the heavyweight has more potential energy than the light one, but then I realized how idiotic that would be to the point I'm trying to make. Which is the point I'm trying to make here is that when you have 2 weights, right, then you have 3 states. Like you have weights on a shelf, right? Like dumbbells. There we go, that sort of thing. Dumbbells on the shelf. This one is heavy, this one is light. Now, if they're on a shelf, they have equal potential energy. If you drop both of them, then the heavy one, this will be the heavy, this will be the light. The heavy one loses a lot of energy, while the light one loses less. If you move them both up into the air, the heavy one gains a crazy amount of potential energy. The light one only gets a little. That's the point I'm trying to make. But if I started with them being unequal, then wouldn't resonate quite as well. Pun intended, chemistry pun. There, you're welcome. MCU, Master of Chemistry at the university. Make it. Are you a uni student or a graduate? I'm neither. I'm self-taught. Hey, Make it. I have a physics question. 2 masses, M1 and M2, drop from the same height. Which one will drop first? It depends where you drop it. On Earth? The heavier one. Did you send the mail to the Crystallography Union? I did not, because I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I'm gonna actually send a message to Ayupak. Yeah, I want to make a video about the Red Book of Chemistry. They'll drop on the same time. Not on Earth they won't, because on Earth you have something called air resistance. And higher masses generally do much better at breaking through the air resistance. Message to Ayupak, what I miss. Oh yeah, Caper. I kind of want to get more involved in the scientific community. So my New Year's resolution, midway through the year, is to... I do want to get involved with different like scientific bodies, and I really want to make my videos with, you know, experts on the topic. And so I really want to make a video about the Red Book of Chemistry with Ayupak, scientific body inspector. Ladies and gentlemen, an example of meta-irony in the in case anyone would be confused about what meta-irony is, there you go, you're welcome.
I was not fully listening. Now I'm fucked. I will never get the joke.
I just said I want to get more involved with scientific bodies, and Caper just said scientific body inspector, and that is literally it. There's no more to it.
Brilliant.
That makes a bit less. Would that work? No, that wouldn't, comedian, because of something called relativity. Basically, if you take a look at it from the perspective of the object that is, I mean from the perspective of Earth, sorry, then the Earth isn't moving. So just because you change observers doesn't mean you get a different result. Alright, bye Harsh, have a good one, good night.
Bye.
Good old message, are you back? Yeah, I mean, it seems like a great start. The worst they can do is say no! Proceeds to get mauled to death. Relative. 2 additional states can reach. We can reach the rates which will reduce their potential energies, since the more weight has checks notes more mass, it's drop more in energy. The lighter wave drop really less. Dude, I wanna watch you like forever, but I really wanna sleep. I could kiss you right now. I don't think you could actually. No offense, it's just, you know, logistically challenging. It's kind of a pickle. I mean, I'm looking around right now. I don't see you, but I appreciate the sentiment. Do go to sleep though. I'm gonna be awake tomorrow anyway. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow anyway. Yeah, you can go to sleep, and there's pretty solid chance that when you wake up, I'm gonna start a live stream, because I have a habit of doing 2 live streams a day.
He has a habit of doing a live streams when I wake up.
In any case, that's a great resolution. I just have to imagine that this will lead some kind of... I'm seeing people hanging out in your gay lab Discord. We might need to message Iopact actually this stream. We might try it. Why not? Critique the Church of Scientology, they can get you incarcerated. I don't understand what Church of Scientology is. I've looked at into it before and I still don't understand. I hear people joking about it all the time, but I don't know what it is. Bye, ZZ. Oh, is your name? I just hit me. Your name is like 3 Z's in different rotation. Oh, that is clever. I thought your nickname was just random characters, but no, I that is actually really clever. I like that a lot.
You like clever people.
You like clever people, don't you?
Was it a boy kiss original?
It was a boy kisser. It's one of my favorite memes. Oh, you like
Right
kissing
after
boys, don't?
Gecko.
You like kissing boys, don't you? What about kissing
you
men? Like imagine two different frames. One of let's say a minor-sized planet, meteor towards Earth, and we drop 1 gram mass. Won't the Earth get pulled towards the gravity of the meteor? I mean, yes. I just assumed that in your thought experiment, it was things were happening like separately. Dear Mr. or Mrs. Iopak, Dear John Iopak,
John Iopak.
to whom it may concern. 2050 transuranic element magnesium. Hold on, I need to splash my face with water.
Don't do that.
It makes me wake up. I would really recommend. Just splash yourself with water and then you're cold and then you just and then try being tired or sleepy or whatever. How do you have a tap next to you? I'm streaming from my kitchen. No, you think the tap is weird? Listen to this. That's my fridge. It's behind me. If it wasn't empty, I could like snack midstream. The next state we need to concern ourselves with is what happens when we bring the weights even higher. Once we do that... Did you know that I to the power of I is real? Is it really? What is it equal to? Do you imagine we'll see element 120 in the next like 2 decades? 120, what even are we on? 118, oh never mind, so just one more line.
119.
Like, depends what you mean by C.
Why?
Depends what you mean by C, because...
Are they even trying to make new ones still? I don't think they are.
When of those chemists gonna drop a DLC. I mean, depends what you mean, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Oganescent even existed. Did it? E to the minus pi divided by 2. I was curious.
This is one of the made up ones with a fucking half-life of 0 seconds, you know?
Stop doing chemistry!
0 seconds.
Look at this, the real chemistry done by real chemists.
You're very unhelpful to like anybody to have it be a thing.
I mean, it's hard to say with science how helpful it is, because this is like bleeding edge. And with bleeding edge, the problem is that scientists who work on it, they don't have much of a justification other than we don't know, simply because in order to get justification, they first need to do the research. Like, you won't know what your theory, most of the time, you don't know what your theory would entail until you check if it's correct or not. So I wouldn't say that it's useless, and I'm saying that a lot, scientists still do it, because why wouldn't they?
What useful property does organisms have?
It's not that. That's not how it works. You're not looking for a useful property. You're more looking. So, for example, there could be island of stability. So imagine if element. No, that's a real thing that could happen. So imagine, like, for example, if element 121 turns out to be stable all of a sudden, or like one of its isotopes.
Aren't they predicting that island to be like at like 150 something, like way off?
Like it could be, yeah. But the point is that you're not really. The reason why you do it is not really to look for additional elements. Because if you want to go that way, then I mean, I would argue polonium could be where usefulness ends, kind of. Everything beyond that is Well, uranium, I guess, is pretty famous. Plutonium.
Yeah, I mean, the radioactive things are all useful for the radioactive stuff, you know. But like up to the point when they disappear in 8 seconds, they stops being fucking
You don't
useful.
really do bleeding edge science for the sake of immediate usefulness. So, for example, quantum
Well,
field
yeah.
theory, like, the same thing could go with quantum field theory. What would quantum field theory be useful for? Back when Einstein was busy getting high and going on benders, then there wasn't really much of a clear answer for why that would be useful. But they just did it because they were looking for the most accurate model. And now that we've basically used it as our current model, we know that, for example, it allows us to make, I don't know, GPS wouldn't work without relativity. Basically, there are a lot of technology wouldn't work without relativity. Anything that involves signals, effectively. Did they finally deliver a package? No, they sent it back. I messaged them, I wrote them a strongly worded email, and I am patiently awaiting the response. However, if I want to receive my response tomorrow or today, I might need to get serious, and I might need to get a bit upset, and I might need to get a bit more stern on the matter. Quantum mechanics in general relativity don't align singularities, I remember. Nothing aligns singularities. In singularities, you have a point. You can't. That's a big no-no. The gravitational pull causes the. Basically, it. I know it's not gonna sound in a way that makes much sense, but basically, the gravitational pull of a black hole makes you cross the speed of light. So, the reason why speed of light is the infinity of our universe. It's like the final number, right? You can't recross it. And so that's why in all the relativistic equations you have the Lorentz factor. And if you look at the Lorentz factor, then you will see that it is effectively 1 divided by root of 1 minus v squared c squared. And you can see that if you cross the velocity of the speed of light, then right here you will get a number greater than 1, which will lead this to be a negative number, which will give you an imaginary number. Hence why it doesn't really make sense. Well, this is one of the interpretations why it doesn't make sense for you to cross the speed of light. But everything is so extreme in black holes that you, in a way, in quotes, cross that boundary of, the speed of light. So nothing really makes sense in singularities. They're wacky. They're really wacky. Please elaborate on the strongly worded email. Well, I very kindly reached out to DHL and I've let them know that they didn't, in fact, deliver my package. They didn't. They were supposed to attempt to deliver the package on the Monday, which they did not. I spent the entire day waiting. And they just sent it to Germany. Sent it back. So I very politely explained the situation in an email, and I am awaiting the response.
Very politely and chill.
Wonder if quantum mechanics has any practical applications yet. It does. Beyond quantum computers.
You wouldn't quantum tunnel a horse.
Basically, Dark, all of modern chemistry. All of modern chemistry would not exist without quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
Any chemical development that happened since the I'm gonna say 1980s, but it could be before that. I just don't know if before that. So just to play it safe, 1980s is dependent on quantum mechanics. Also, Flame, for example. My goodness, I made a video about Flame's research. Flame's research wouldn't be the same without the quantum model. Quantum tunneling is literally part of it.
The most the weirdest part of chemistry to me is all the fucking silly I have a way of words. Okay, give me time. All of the fucking alloys, if you have this fucking alloy and like 0.5% of fucking hafnium, it's suddenly it is like useful for something. Like the min-maxing alloys is just so fucking goofy to me. Like all the like advanced fucking alloys used for like very niche things.
Yeah,
Somewhere like
I've never gone to it because it seems like a bit too much memory. I mean, there is a fair bit of algorithm.
there is something like like if you add like if you make steel with like 1% carbon, it's like a bit stronger, but like the length of
Yeah,
bullshit you get
it is
to like
dumb.
if you like try to make something oddly specific is like insane.
It is rather silly, yeah. But it makes sense because of how metallic modern works. You just add stuff and it's changed the thing. Einstein,
It is literally alchemy.
Einstein was against quantum mechanics for quite some time, right? Einstein was against quantum mechanics the entire time. God does not play with the dice of the universe. Don't tell God what to do. Yeah, it's comical because Einstein basically was one of the creators of quantum mechanics, despite how much he hated it.
Was it?
Yeah, because like special relativity, basically, a really big part of quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
But that's all due to Einstein, and Einstein
How does
didn't like it.
how does relativity fit into quantum mechanics?
Basically,
I guess you need it
because
probably.
light basically was the origin of quantum mechanics. The thing is, it's easiest to explain. It's easiest to work with quantum mechanics when you don't have mass. And so, the way development of quantum mechanics happen, yes, the way development of quantum mechanics happens is that basically they did the experiments mostly with light, and then they expanded it to include mass. And so that's why you have momentum of light. They just carried it to. So basically, you know how for light, the equivalent of mass is kind of like the wavelength. That's kind of the equivalent of mass. Like, light has momentum, for example, and it's dependent on
Yeah.
the wavelength.
Higher wavelength, higher energy.
Yes. Well, basically, it kind of also works for. In a way, in quantum mechanics, you kind of can model mass as a wave with this kind of wavelength. So basically, you can expand the way we treat the photon to also include mass particles with mass, and and so Einstein basically nailed light, and then Planck and the others expanded it into quantum mechanics. Yeah, there's a lot of like relatively quantum mechanic things. There's a lot of the problem with advanced science is that it's unobvious the way in which it's helpful, because it's just a good model. That's the entire point. It's just we're creating a more accurate model. So every kind of development that happens thanks to us doing this science is just it's taken for granted without realization how important it was. There was some. Let me just. The energy increases even more. Right, wait. Sure, as it could be. Now what?
How about that?
What is effective is that if you drop both of our weights, then the heavier weight have more energy, and therefore it will be even more stable because you need more energy to bring it up. Simple. Make it please a stream number mismatch fix. I'll stuck my head on the soft pillow. That's not much of a threat. I don't mean to be that guy, but that's pretty tame. As far as threats go. String theory a promising model, in your opinion? I think so. String theory just feels like more elegant quantum mechanics. That's my personal opinion on string theory. But I don't know much about string theory, in all honesty. Remco right now is studying string theory, so...
Yeah, I don't really know much either.
It doesn't have any false viable claims, no, the theory.
Strings.
It's a hypothesis. I don't know much about string theory, as I mentioned.
Either way.
Hi, the Blitzer. Hi, welcome.
Yeah.
I want you to bring it up. The same way it works for our bonds, the sigma bonds, like a more massive plate. The pi bond is kind of like the lighter. Hence why the drop in energy is greater here. Drop and rise. Smaller here. So that. So the S bond can be stable. Now next, why can our orbitals form both a pi bond? Actually no. How can p orbitals form pi bonds and sigma bonds? Make it the stream number and titles off by 1. I already fixed it. You should refresh the website. I could hope. Oh, my dishwasher is really loud. And that could be a very sexist message if I was a different kind of YouTuber.
We can't hear it, don't worry.
Maggie, did you see that they're adding the distorted flashed face emoji officially to Unicode? No, I'll be brutally honest with you, Betsy. I'm not really keeping up with
What do you
Unicode
mean by
news.
distorted flash? I am worried. Well, I need to see this. Can you have a link to this? Somewhere? In Discord preferably, so it like posts.
This was good. I think we could look this up.
Can you look up specific fucking emoji? That doesn't sound like something that would ever be accurate.
Well, emoji being added to Unicode is kind of a big deal.
I guess. All the Unicode emojis are fucking goofy. Cursed.
I think it depends on how you render them. I mean, there's no refresh button on YouTube, so they should add it. Oh, I suppose there isn't.
There's no...
Okay, we're not that far off with this animation, that's not bad. We already got some pretty serious work done. This is good.
This is good.
Nice thing about this video is that we've done all of the the last video, which means just instead of having to is the character U+1 FAEA. There we go, you can just look that up. Unicode character. It's just releasing 9th September. I like the fact there's a release date for a Unicode character, that's fun. With mathematics, I can just show you that. this is our first eyeball. This is the second. This is the third. No, wait. And then this is the second. Splendid.
Oh, it's this fucking thing. Okay, that is face. What the fuck?
Wait, what? Damn it, you got me interested.
Oh, I'm gonna post it. Hold on. Let me put it here. I think this fucking character.
Oh.
That is just magnificent. Legendary.
We were missing it from Unicode, to be fair. Adding 4,847 characters, though for 159,845. You're literally watching Make It, you can't call me nerd. Got you there.
Brilliant, man.
Okay, we've done a fair bit of work, and I mainly need to wait for this animation to render. Anyone got any requests for what we should do?
It is already in. It's just not many apps actually have it fucking rendered.
Bye, KP, bye, have a good one. John, I priced the stream. Oh yeah.
Fucking
Who
the
is?
man who approved of this is actual Chad.
People probably asked you this a million times, but I'm new to the stream. Who is Mr. Make It? What's his degree and is a tech billionaire? I am not a tech billionaire. Actually, no. I'm more of
He
an.
has a master's degree in gay.
I don't have any formal education. I am self-taught. Yes.
Started practicing gay too.
Glad you repeated, just in case someone didn't hear it the first time. That's good for you.
What?
Make It. The math
Okay.
channel is dead. What do you mean the math channel is dead? Then send messages if you don't like the fact that it's dead. Last message was from an hour ago. What do you mean?
Math channel dead, man. You and I do type every second in the channel.
Applied gayness or theoretical gayness degree? I have a doctorate in theoretical gayness. My femboy thesis was my doctorate.
Oh yeah, the fanboy thesis. Oh god. What a piece of media.
What's the math channel? It's the math Discord channel. The Reblaxes one.
Yeah.
Anyway, genuine question, because I am waiting for an animation to render, so anything I should do in the meantime while we're waiting? Or should we just do a watching paint dry live stream
You
of...
should play Balatro.
Like you say that, but I might.
That was a joke. You don't have to play Balatro. You really don't fucking hate Balatro, as I know you do.
Play 5D chess. I don't have 5D chess.
Or you should play. It's not that expensive. Although knowing your fucking situation on your bank account, maybe it is actually.
If it's above $7, I might not have enough money to buy it.
Okay, let me check.
Who is the Teto on the screen? This is Katsi.
It's 44 of currency.
And this is
So
Katsi.
how much in bags? That's me. Meow. Hello. I'm Veteto.
Code
I'm
fix
literally
it.
Katana Devil.
Code fix it could be something.
The chest is 44 currency, by the way.
I don't know. I don't think I
I
have.
know
That's
how
so
much
much
that is
money. It's for chess. For chess.
Yeah,
Who
but
would
it's like
pay so
a
much money for chess?
fucking- it's chest with XD twist, you know? Most like a most
What are the rules of 5 chess?
there's 5 dimensions. as opposed to normal chess when there is 2.
And what, all the pieces can travel the same way across the 5 dimensions as they travel throughout the first two?
Yes. Yes.
Who came up with it? Why 5?
Because you have back in time.
Don't call it
You
time.
have
It's not time.
it's time. It's a turn order as you progress through turns. You know. And then you go back to like.
No, that doesn't
turn
make
1.
sense now. No, hold on. Why would you separate? I am so. With each more explanation, I'm just getting more and more
So
questions.
time is a dimension, and then parallel universe is another dimension. Because when you go back in time, you fucking split off a timeline. It's not like, you know. Because obviously you have to.
Oh, I thought you just meant like just dimensions. That's not dimensions. That's
mean,
just
They
bullshit.
work like dimensions.
Okay, so like, can Rook go in straight lines across all 5 dimensions? Or-
Yes.
Okay, what is the difference then between a time dimension and any other dimension in 5D chess?
Well, it's, you know.
No, I don't.
Time dimension.
No, I don't know.
What is it?
Is there
What's
any?
the difference between fucking up dimension and left right dimension? You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, there is no such thing as an up dimension or left-right dimension.
Well,
Is
on
there
the-
any difference between the time
Okay,
dimension?
degree of movement. Maybe that's the better word. Degree of movement. Does it make fucking sense now?
No, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, I'm not using scientific terms. That's probably the issue, isn't it?
No, the issue is that I've seen people describe 5D chess to me as including time travel, but what the fuck does that mean? Because
Okay,
it's...
you have a fucking rook. It can move in a straight line in any fucking direction.
Yes.
Okay, up a board, left, right a board, or directly back in time. So like stays still but goes back in time.
I'm just confused about why is it called time.
Because it's fucking time. You know, like the turn order. Like you start on like turn 1 and then it goes through turn to 2.
I'm tempted
turn 3,
to
you know,
buy
that
it
it's
just out of
actually the most-
sheer anger.
And the fucking, if you go back to turn 1, that's like going back in time. Because you went back to turn 1.
I am tempted to buy it out of sheer anger.
Okay, well.
What the fuck is this? I've seen people post memes about this in the Discord server.
Horses. It's like a fucking anime gacha game with horses, horse race.
those are not horses. I don't think.
They have horses, therefore they are horses.
I don't think
wouldn't
you
understand.
all on the internet have ever seen a horse. 5D chess with multiverse time travel. I hate this so much. Hold on, let me just see.
Look, he going back.
Oh, am I supposed to buy it now? I feel like I'm watching Einstein debating Oppenheimer.
That is just magnificent. That.
It has 4 dimensions: 2D chess, 1D time, 1D multiverse. Basic. That's exactly why I'm like.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what fills me with just hatred, because
Oh yeah, the 5th dimension might be a meme. Don't worry about that.
I am.
It might just be added there for just, you know.
I might buy it just out of. Fuck.
5th dimension is the dimension of your brain increasing as you start to understand it.
Let me see.
Can I do this one? I should.
Damn it. Oh, I can buy it like this. That's convenient.
I'm buying a giver just right now so that you can fuck off about, you know, being stingy about money.
Stringent. I am broke. That's what you're looking for.
Well, I'm paying for like 2/3 of this game right now, so you know you should.
Fun fact: on my bank account, I right now have 3 digits. I have a 3-digit amount of money. That's a fun fact for you. And the reason why it's a fun fact is because now I have a 2-digit amount. Wikipedia calls it 4D. I am tempted to say that it's not even 4. I am tempted to say that it's 3 plus bullshit. But I need to play it first in order to make the judge. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Right now, I'm going to play 5D chess just out of sheer pettiness and disappointment in how people interpret dimensions in science. Hold on.
Well, it's not science, it's fucking chess. It's different.
Well, everything is science. Don't even start with me. I am. Hold on. Okay, are you all ready? Like, if you're broke, just buy some money. It's not that deep. That is right there, the Einstein conversation. It's 9 megabytes. I do have to say, whoever made this game, I respect the fact that they actually did 9 megabytes for the game, because that means they didn't just go for bullshit. They did actually genuinely try while making a game. I was full on expecting it to be like a. Okay, puzzles.
I just got given. You should be back to fucking 3 digits now on your bank account.
Hold on,
Hope this helps.
I'm playing the game. You ready? Let's try. Rook tactics, mate in 1. Okay, so we have this. And what I need to do is I need to mate this. Wouldn't it just mean I need to move the rook right here? Why can't the king move? Can't I just like now take the king with this rook? Oh, you can only move in the most recent. Yeah. That's idiotic.
Yes, you can only move in present.
Oh, why is this time? I'm fine. Hold on. How do you restart? Is that the restart?
Just raise the fucking puzzle.
So you can only move in the most recent one, which means you like this. I cannot take this. Oh, nor can I. How can the rook move back in time? Oh, it can move back in time only on the single line.
Yes, because it has one direction it moves. It moves in a line.
Wait, how do you make them? Because because I cannot move rooks from the past.
I think I know the solution to the puzzle right now. I'll let you figure it out.
I don't know how this game works yet.
Okay, well, they move in a single line. So where would you move to? Towards where do you move? Where
yeah, but all the rooks from the past don't matter because they cannot check the king.
Well, but you can move into past, so you can check the king in the past.
Yeah, but the only place where I can check the king in the past is this one, which will not result in a mate in 1.
Well, but they can't move in the past, so like if you check.
Yeah, but the only two possible moves. Yeah, but the only 2 possible moves in the past is this one, and neither of them will result in mate in 1.
Well, that's correct. You are correct.
I know. I am always correct. I know.
That's not what I'm asking you to do. That is correct. Keep using your brain. You maybe get there.
4, 8.
So, where would you have to move to where you can then put them in check if you move to the past?
But that's not mate in 1.
That's incorrect. But fuck.
But if I move somewhere to put them in check to then put them mate, that is not mate in 1. The rook tactics, that's mate in 1. Is there a tutorial of this?
On the next round you have fucking checkmate, so it is mate in 1. If you had to capture then the king, that would be mate in 2.
No, mate in 1 means I move and then it's immediately mate. That's mate in 1.
Yes. There's a square on the board that you can do it with a rook move right now.
Yeah, which means I need to find a move.
Exactly that.
Which means I need to find a move that it's not gonna be with the king.
There is only so many moves. You can brute force them, by the way. If you fucking fail completely at understanding.
Like this. This will not be a mate because the king can move. Or check. Then the king
You don't
can
have to
right
move to the
here.
past. It's on the current board. There's a move that puts it in mate.
On the current board.
On the current board, there's a move that delivers mate.
No, 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 no,
Yes,
no,
there is.
no, no, no.
There is.
If I move the rook right here, the king can just go right here. If I move the rook right here, king can just take it. If I move the rook
What?
right here, king can just take it. If I move the rook right here, king can just take it. If I move the rook right here, king can go this way.
They
If I move the
can't
rook right
move
here,
in the past. They can only move in the present.
yes.
Where can you move where you put past king in check? And they can't move, by the way, so it's a checkmate.
Well, if I move the rook right here, then the king can move to the pass. Wait, so if you do a check in the pass, it's already made.
Yes, because they can't change the past. It's very cooked. They can't move. They can only move in the present. So if you know.
Which means checks don't exist in the past, only checkmates exist.
Well. Depends, I think.
The fuck you mean depends?
Maybe. I don't wanna say something and the player's like.
Because
"Hey,
then-
actually, you said something wrong.
Because then I could move
Like, I don't wanna
the rook
dispute
right
myself
here.
right now.
Yeah, and yeah, and now
You
they can
move the
move.
rook over too.
That's not a maiden one anymore.
Yeah, but that's not what I was asking you to do. I mean, that's not what solution is. Maybe that. Maybe I was saying spectrum. I don't know.
This can only move in a straight line, which means I can only move it like this, which is absolutely no help.
Yeah, this is no help.
Unless like this. No, because
Don't-
this went
don't
too
move it.
far. This
The
has to
king
go.
doesn't have either.
Oh shit.
There's a reset button on the top. You don't have to quit every time you fucking do that, by the way.
Okay. Check, not a mate. 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 Check. Well, not check, not a mate. Not even checks. All of these useless, which means it cannot be any of the rook moves. Rook has 10
You are in
moves.
fact wrong.
Rook has 10 moves. None of them result in a mate.
One of them results in a mate, and you're being
This
silly right
one
now.
does not result in a mate.
Top right move results in a mate. Top right on the board results
This
in a mate.
right here.
This stream is like, yes.
But then why wouldn't the king move just one tile up?
Okay, well, make the move. Go make the fucking move. Also, the stream is like 4 seconds behind, so. Oh my god. Yeah, submit. Click. Yeah, click submit.
The king isn't checked.
It is checked.
By
it is
what?
checked in the past, like on the straight line through the past. It is checked on the first turn, and it can't move.
Why would
because it's in the
check? Why
past.
would checks carry over into the future?
Because it's a straight line. It goes in a straight line. It checks. You can on the next turn then travel.
Okay,
back to the
in
thing.
normal
It
chess,
would-
checks
it is
don't
made.
carry into the future. Why would they carry into the
Yes.
future in this game?
It's a 4D chess. That's the whole fucking thing of the game. It's they carry over. Well, you can move. It's like okay. Imagine it wasn't checked. On this turn, you can move on that line and capture the king. Therefore, it's checked. That's the
No,
that's the definition
king
of
could just
check.
move like right here. See, it's not the end.
Well,
Oh, is it because the
This
king,
king
the rook can take the king?
see the line? That's the checkmate. Yes.
So it
King
is
takes-
checking on this round. It isn't checking in the past. It's checking on this round.
Well, it's checking a king that's in the past.
But it
Maybe
is
that's
checking
true.
on this round.
Yes.
Yeah,
checking
that's
on this
really
round.
fucking different. That is really different because this works like normal chess then.
Yes.
My goodness. Oh,
I'm sorry for being unhelpful, but like, you know.
Unhelpful would suggest
I
that
know the
you
best
were
with
not
words, like,
helpful. You were actively harmful. Okay,
Well,
that
well, if I got to
changes.
this screen, which
That
explain to you the thing, so we
that
win.
changes everything so much. Mate in two. Okay.
Okay,
That's because right
we're
now,
learning. It's a progress. It's good.
if I move this right here, then the king. Well, this is made in two. No matter where the king moves, is there a quicker way? This feels like a simple way. King can move in any of those options, or it can move into the past. If it moves into the past, however, then I'm in a bit of a pickle. Right, which if it moves into the past and creates an alternate timeline, we don't want that. What we would rather have is... Wait, no, because then we can... Oh, but rooks can only travel in a straight line, right, that makes sense. Which means we would probably rather have... King can go in any of these. Wait, can the king go in the past two? Or
Yes.
two rounds back or one round back? So if I do this,
If you
it goes
check
2
him
rounds
now,
back.
I think you can escape to the past.
Yes, I know,
You
that's
can
why I didn't do
technically
it.
check.
I know.
You can
I don't like
You can
this.
just submit, you know, there's a reset button at the top.
No, I just did undo because I haven't submitted the move yet.
Okay, okay.
I'm thinking.
Sure. This is pain.
This can move like so. I could get a new rook. Oh, I cannot move rooks from the past, right? But I can still duplicate my rook. I could go like this, and that would create us a new timeline. Which means then the king... Oh, and now they need to like safeguard both of their kings. I don't like it being called 5D chess, because first of all, it is not 5, and second of all, it's not dimension. You cannot duplicate things with dimensions. It's not really how dimensions work. It is.
What do you mean?
Well, when you have a dimension, then it's just about position of an object. In this case, there are two kings, right? There's this one, there's this one. The thing is that no matter how you move an object in any amount of dimensions, you cannot all of a sudden create another one by the sheer movement. That is not a dimension. A dimension is effectively just you have a number that describes something's position in that dimension.
You don't like there is two kings right now?
Well, it's not that I don't like it, it's just not a dimension. This isn't really 5D chess, this is 3D chess
Well,
with
this
time
is like,
travel.
well, you've made like a parallel universe.
Yes,
And
but that is...
routes, because you move one from this one to this one.
Yeah, no, I understand how it works, it's just that this is not a dimension. That will bothers me. It's called 5D. I would like to return my money because I find it... it's a false advertisement. I paid for 5 dimensions, I got 3. And one of them is temporal. This is bullshit. It's parallel dimension with time travel.
4 dimensions, not 3.
3.
There's the other dimension
There
is
is-
moving between like parallel ones on the same line. So like from the bottom one to the top one.
So we can go
With
like
those
this.
drills and over.
It's still not... this bothers me on so many levels.
That's the other one.
Oh, this bothers me on so many levels. That's not...
Why?
Well, it's because right here, if I move a king this way, right? I am not moving it on the 4th dimension. I'm moving it on the fucking 2nd. I'm moving it on the y coordinate. That's what it bothers
Yeah.
me.
The plane. I mean, that's just to fucking. What? How else would you want to visualize this? You know?
There's
It's on the other 2 dimensions on x and y coordinates on the fucking board of boards.
Yeah, you know what? Fair. That's fair.
This is the most convenient way to visualize it possible, and also most intuitive one.
I mean,
Also understand
visualizing
how
wise,
things work.
it is really good. It is really good visualizing wise. I just don't like the namings they've used. I don't appreciate it because I've spent leave an angry review. I'm not gonna leave an angry review because it looks like a great game, but it's just that
I mean, the name just sounds fucking funny. 5D chess.
it's just that I've kind of made 3 separate videos trying to explain to people how multiple dimensions are not difficult to comprehend and they're not complicated. And this game is actively undermining my actions. Okay, let's think about it. If we move the rook right here, it will not matter because the king can move to the past. If the king moves to the past, we are lacking a second rook to do anything with. If we, however, I really do believe that sending this rook to the past right here is the key, because if we send the rook to the past, then all of a sudden we get a new defense, and then on the new timeline these fields are banned. But that's movement 2, which means the next one. Check. King, no matter what the. Well, king moves down. I struggle. Yeah. Yes, if the king moves down, I struggle. If I move it right here, it can escape into the past right here, which will. That will create a lot of problems for me. This move right here is basically what causes the problem. Which is understandable, which means we need to find a way to. But it doesn't. Wait, no, it does help. No, it doesn't. Yes. But what if. No.
There's another mechanic you should probably know. If you do like a time travel to the past, he can't move the future board until the power one catches up with the current most present future. So
if I do this, then he needs to play right here.
Yeah, he needs to play on the new one up until they catch up, and then you can play off both.
I see.
So I'm not sure if it might be hard to this puzzle. I'm not sure. I'm not like paying that much attention right now. Maybe I'm not sure. You're in the fucking of the game. So like he can't move that jumpy move until that happens.
What if I then move the rook?
Well, it's his turn because you moved already, no?
I haven't moved. I'm just looking.
Ah, okay.
Right here. It's defended. Oh my goodness! It's defended. Yes. Oh, but I cannot. Wait, no. Oh, but that's creates a new board. So this isn't made because you can move right here. Oh, which means I would need to. So when you move, it creates more to the more forwards. Oh, jeez, this is not. This is not going. Like when you move somewhere, you're not really moving there. You're moving there and then to the next turn.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, what I mean by that is that I cannot. There are certain boards I cannot move to because my movement to them will cause the next turn immediately. Which means I am not actually moving where I'm moving. I am moving to the next.
Only moving. There is double the boards because there's a board for your turn and his turn, and you're only moving to one of them, obviously. So there's yes.
Yeah, so I am moving to the next board of. I'm not moving where I'm moving. I'm moving to the next board after that. If I were to do this, wait. If I were to do because then if I go to this, that won't help. If I go right here, however, that will branch it off. That will branch it off, which means this king will have to move. Can it move into the future? Because these are green. And not gonna lie, if it moves into the future, I'm kind of fucked. Let's see. Can it move into the future?
I don't know.
It didn't. Doesn't mean it can't. Games of only rules mode damage is only 3D, not 5D. No, I will accept that it's 4D. I will accept that. It's just that it bothers me because I spent a lot of time trying to simplify the concept of dimensions, and this game is going directly against that goal by making the concept of dimensions more complicated than it has to be. That's because when you have The reason why we differentiate between time and space is because at low energies, rules of physics are different. However, that is very much a special case. It doesn't usually happen. Usually dimensions are indistinguishable. That's a very big point. In this case, you have two different dimensions that are different from the classical ones. X and Y are normal, but time follows different rules, and parallelization follows different rules.
The point is they're indistinguishable to the pieces. Obviously not to you looking at the board, but like
They
to
are
the pieces.
no, they
like
are
the movement of pieces.
They are still very much distinguishable because, like, if I move the rook right here, for example, then it doesn't move it where I moved it. It moves it to the board next to forward to where it would be, and that is a different rule. If I instead of moving
it
the
moves
rook,
it, and then there is a split, and there is the opponent turn. So
yeah,
like,
but the point is that if I move the rook on the x-axis, it moves on the x-axis. But so like on the x and y-axis, you move exactly where you move. In time, the rules are different because new pieces are created with each move. And when it comes to parallelization, you always move forward. These are different rules to different dimensions.
Yeah, you do move on the x-axis in time, on the fucking x-time axis, I guess you can call it that.
Yeah, so in this case,
and
like,
then the board is created, which moves you over. But because board is created under
exactly.
the
So
thing.
there are different
And
rules for different dimensions, and that's.
What do you mean different rules? What's the different rule there?
Well, x and y have the same exact rule, right? You can move on the board.
Yes.
And if you
Yes.
rotate the board 90 degrees, you will still be able to. You won't be able to tell basically which is the x, which is the y, if you rotate the board.
Mm-hmm.
That is because
Yes.
the rules are the same. The same thing happens in physics. Like when you have x, y, z coordinate, you cannot actually tell which one is x, which one's y, which one is z. No, that's relativity.
Yes.
In this case, however, you can tell which one is time, and you can tell which one is parallelization.
Why? How?
Well, you can tell which one is time because time allows you to create more pieces than you will normally have. Which means no matter how you move on the x or y axis, I would always have two rooks. However, with time, I can create, well, with parallelization more, I can create additional pieces.
And what's the difference between time and going up down through the other way?
Well,
What's the difference between x time and y time?
the difference is that you need to reach the same point, right? Or am I misunderstanding the rules of the game?
I don't. What's the difference between x and y time? The reaching
For
point is
example,
like just separate. No.
if I go like this, I have not moved in time. And yet I have moved in time. And I have, oh, hold on, I need to scroll to make this visible.
What do you mean you haven't moved in time?
Well, because
I mean,
here,
yeah, you jump between the two.
yes, and yet I have moved in time.
But like
Parallelization.
moving in time is not like something that can, it's an arbitrary fucking thing, It's not like you can.
Yeah, but no matter how far I move on the X or Y, I cannot move to another board. So right here, in this case, I've basically not quite created a new piece, but, well, shit is happening in the maths channel. What is happening in the maths channel?
What's happening in the maths channel?
In mathematics? Yeah, it tends to happen. That does tend to happen. Okay, let's have a think. The problem is the king being able. Wait, hold on. Let's make a different board. Oh, you can only take the most one, right? The problem is the fact if I move this, the king can move back in time right here. The king moves back in time right here. Is attacking rook. This 3 rooks, which feels like it would be easier. Maybe have you heard of a skewer? Well, I heard of a verb, skewer.
I think it means like in chess. It's like when you have a piece.
I don't play chess.
Okay, you have a piece between two pieces, and so like you have a rook, you have a king, and you have a fucking bishop between them. So like the rook is skewering through the bishop to the. So if you move the fucking bishop, it's discover attack. I think that's what he means. I don't think it hypes in this puzzle, so I don't know why he said that. Like,
I don't know, I don't play chess.
whatever. Yeah, me neither.
I do this, increase power timeline. Then in this case, it's gonna move down. Would not let me. Hold on. Oh, but you can only move sideways on the boards. You cannot move. Oh. Oh. You can
It's like a
only move sideways.
dimension because it can only move in line. Well, with a rook, with king, you know, there's yeah.
Movement. This move. If I move this right here, I don't need to take the king for it to be a mate, right? I just need to make king takeable.
Yes, that's what mate is.
If I move the king, the rook right here, it won't matter because we'll create another board. Movement in time will make the movement paralyzation meaningless.
Can he leave again if you check him now? Like this? Can he fuck off again?
What do you mean?
Can the king escape back in time somewhere?
They can escape forward in time.
I think they can't escape because they would go back into the same place. I think that's they can go there. Fuck. Oh, it's over there. I was looking at the bottom board where they would have to go back down, but they already were there. You know. Fuck. Yeah, it's a fucking problem with kings because they move. Well, like they can move 1-1-1-1. I think so.
Justy.
Can move one and all four at once. X, Y, and time X, time Y. Whether like roots can move only in one at once.
So you can move forward in time. You don't have to move back.
You can.
Oh.
I see, yeah. Yeah, because king.
He's only stuck because he's too smart. But I'm not too smart for this. No. My problem isn't that they're displaying like dimensions inaccurately. It's just the problem is that in this case there are a lot of rules that aren't dependent on dimensions. That bothers me because that makes
Also,
the
I have
concept of
no fucking
dimensions.
clue either. Can we do a different puzzle?
What's the fun of a puzzle if you just quit just because you don't know?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, the king. Oh, because I lose the rook. I'd rather have as many rooks possible than as few. But they can go back forward in time, can they not? Yes. Oh, because a big problem. Attacking kings in the past. Does attacking kings in the past help?
Well, if you attack him in the past, then he can't do anything about it.
Wait, what move this?
Wait, I think I get the solution now. I think I understand what the game wants you to do.
Now I need to move right here. Okay, so I need to always play on the earliest board.
Yes, because if you go one on the latest board, it's one move and like the puzzle over. Where if you go back in time, you can buy time before the puzzle is over. Because it's making one, like making one from the current, like latest board. So if you go back,
Another question: If I just
it
move,
becomes mate in 2 or something.
if I just move the rook, it's going to play right here.
Well, you already lost.
I'm trying to learn how the game works. I'm not really playing
Okay,
to
okay.
another one.
I'm sorry.
Can
I'm
I just
sorry.
keep going forever like this? Like if I just.
I think you
Oh.
can.
That's
I'm not
dumb.
I think I know what the game wants you to do. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna give you some more time to think.
If I do this, then the king can just.
Yeah, you can just fucking yeah.
What do I see? I think I see.
It's always trouble outside your house.
Yeah, I live in a great community. What is the problem with that? Move it like this. In an alternate timeline. Then this rook won't be able to attack it. Can move anywhere. I want to know how he's alive. He lives in the hood, carries weapons, and is drunk a lot. It's not easy, you know. Okay. There's so many rules to remember.
Well, are there?
Yeah.
I think the most annoying thing to remember is the fucking amount of bullshit you can do with 4 dimensions.
No, the most annoying thing is
Not
that
really the
is
rules.
that one of them is time. That's what bothers me. That's what like it consistently screws up my thinking. Because if once again, if I move the rook right here, it won't move there. It will not actually move there.
Well, why not?
Well, because if I click it, then it doesn't actually move there, does it? It moves right here to the side.
It does move there.
Yeah,
It goes to the side because it's the opponent's turn.
Okay,
now.
does it? Yeah, but that's my point. It doesn't actually go where you click it to go. It goes somewhere else depending on where you click it to go.
Yeah,
Imagine if that
the
happened in
where
normal
board is
chess.
created is turn based. So like your
Okay.
board go on the bottom, opponent's turn go on the top.
Imagine if in normal
That's
chess
another rule.
there was. Imagine if in normal chess there was a rule that wherever you click, a piece moves to the square bottom left of it. Imagine if that was a rule in chess. That's basically what's happening here. The piece
I
always
guess
moves
you can add
in.
that complaint that the divergence of timeline is like fucking arbitrary. It's like not really a rule where the timelines end up.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Which I mean
When I heard the multiple dimensions, I just thought like, so for example, imagine a 3D chess, right? Just a cube of chess. I imagine that except in 5 dimensions. That's what I thought this was. But it isn't. Because there, you can see what I mean with right now with when I say the rules change depending on the dimension.
Yeah, so like more like there's just an extra rule on creation of a parallel dimension. If you didn't have any fucking parallel dimensions whatsoever, I guess that would would just go in a line, no? And you would play from that board. But the extra dimension is them popping out is the real problem.
Yes. So there is it. So the pieces don't move where you choose to move them. They move somewhere based on where you choose to move them.
Okay, maybe not like the pieces move where you choose. Is that the board moves then? Like the board pops out. Point frame of reference fucked off, not the piece itself.
That doesn't really change the fact that the piece doesn't go where you click it to go, and that's what screws me
When
up.
it goes, it just pops the board out to the side.
But you can't implement it any other way without getting grandfather paradoxes or giving up something else. You absolutely can implement it in other ways. Just for example, you can just give up on time being a dimension. You can just have 5D chess. That would be one solution. Yeah,
How
without
would you give up on time?
normally.
How would you create parallel without time?
Normally, just by adding additional dimensions. That's what
Alright,
That's what I thought the
pretty
game
good.
was.
Mm. Yeah, you could do that, I guess.
Yeah, that's the default way to do it. In fact,
I suppose you
it
could do
was.
that.
It's. I imagine it was way more difficult to implement in order to add the parallel dimensions.
Visual is not be
Like, if you
affected,
think about
yeah,
it, in normal chess, you don't have time
well,
as a dimension. Because past rounds, positions in past rounds have no impact on the current round. And you can just add another dimension to it.
could you visualize the same way as this thing? Probably. But yeah, you could. More.
That's exactly what messes me up. It's
Okay.
the additional rules per dimension. I need to get my head around that.
Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, I know what I mean.
I move the rook right there. It's gonna be here. Right here, and then move it this. Then you can move back. Can I move right here? And that is not a mate, because they have to. Because they can move right here, so they can keep going back in time. Which means I need. Oh, then you're going to create a parallel, aren't you? Which means I cannot move this rook. Nor will it help, because you move. I'm going and say I'm doing the exact same thing over and over again because I don't realize that I am doing the exact same thing over and over again.
Let me try to help you out a little bit. What did you do last puzzle that you when you the game? Last puzzle, what did you do?
I moved the rook.
You checked the king that was in the past. He couldn't fucking move anywhere because he was already in the past.
What? So I'm supposed to just
try killing. Yeah,
like this.
I think you try to check the guy in the past, not the current king.
That's it. This.
Well, that's 2 moves. It's supposed to be 1 move, no?
No, it's a mate in 2.
Oh. Oh fuck, that's so much simpler.
I couldn't help but notice that that is in without the parallel dimensions at all.
That is, in fact, correct. Well, you did the puzzle. I
don't like the extra rules. I don't like the extra rules per dimension. The extra rules per dimension are messing me up. They're messing me up like crazy. Let's try maiden 1 right here. More complicated. Okay.
Just trying more puzzles. Oh god, there are already things happening.
This, then where will the king be able to go? That creates a new timeline. Of course, it creates a new timeline. I forgot. Wait, moving sideways also creates a new timeline. Makes sense. So these don't get discarded. They still exist. Right. Yes. Time is independent. Okay, so time is independent of x and y. However, the parallelization dimension movement across the parallelization dimension in itself creates another parallels.
Yes.
If you move on a... Okay, so if I... Hold on, I'm trying to visualize this for myself. Let's imagine... let's imagine it just on a plane. We disregard the x and y. We take the x and y, we disregard them. So, two-dimensional chess, where one dimension is time, the other one is parallelization. The chess pieces always move in time forward. That is their default movement. So per each turn, so we can imagine it like, for each turn, sorry, that would be up, not. So for each turn, no matter, so we can visualize the move we choose with the vector v. Now for each move, we add to the vector v vector t, which is the default movement of time, which is just the arrow going up. That is how each move works. So on the time dimension, we can only move backwards, and what's more, if you move backwards, this causes movement on the p dimension. So like there are so many extra rules.
Yeah, I guess you can't move forward just in time because you don't know the.
What's more, you
future.
cannot move backwards without affecting the parallelization.
Well, yeah.
Like imagine if, so right here I have time and parallelization, right? Another in normal chess,
Move anywhere in time dimension without affecting polarization.
Imagine if that worked the same way in 2D chess, where if you move on the x-axis, you also have to move on the y-axis with every piece. So if you move sideways with a rook, it also goes like 2 tiles up. I didn't get your complaint about pieces not going in place you choose, since a normal move also moves you forward in time. But that's precisely my point. Like, Alex, you have 4 dimensions, and those are different types of dimensions. X and Y are just spatial.
Greeting yourself by trying to make them together. You think about, okay, yeah, I move this, and then I move once in time. I think it's, you have this. It's you have it together in your head, but it's like separate instances, I guess. It's one instance of movement of you moving on your turn, and then it's another instance of movement of you clicking end turn and the turn moving the thing, everything over one thing.
You did not simplify anything. Okay, so Alex, the problem is that X and Y are spatial dimensions. T is temporal. And then the parallelization dimension is something completely new that doesn't exist in physics. And it has its own rules. And what's more, the T and P are tied together so that T, first of all, moves always on its own, no matter what you do. You do not have full control over T, no matter how you like it. P, P was always affected by T. And not always, not by standard movement. If you move in the time dimension, you also have to move in the P dimension.
Yes.
And depending on your move, you can add more positions in the P dimensions. Make it T and P are spatial as X and Y, both having upper and lower bounds. Upper and lower bounds?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, T can have a lower bound. Are you certain T has an upper bound? Are you certain that P has either an upper or lower bound? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty certain you...
There's some rule in chess that you cannot have 5 billion turns, right?
Well, theoretically, but the same way you could say that, like, eventually universe will repeat itself. Like,
No. I think there's some rules in official chess that, like, you can't go 60 turns without doing any captures.
That doesn't matter for the purpose of mathematics. It's completely irrelevant. The point is, Rax, T does not have an upper bound, because you can keep going forever. P
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have an
remember.
upper or a lower bound. P doesn't have a lower or upper. The upper bound of T is the current round, the present turn. Well, you can say the same thing in physics if
No,
you really want to. The upper bound of T is the current time, but it won't really
no,
work
it's
great
not.
for you.
Upper bound of T is, the end of time, because you can think of it as like the end of the board.
Yeah,
How
theoretical
much can it
infinity.
go? Well, you can fucking infinity. Yes.
Limit as it approaches infinity. Theoretical point that you could approach. Same as time is in real life.
Yes. Well, I don't know. We don't know about the time, but like
You
the
have
time. Do we
basically
know that time has
P's upper bound is the highest you can go and lower is the lowest. No, Rax, no, absolutely not. That's because you cannot reach these positions yet, but you could theoretically reach them. That is not an upper bound. Imagine it this way: if you have a two-dimensional universe, all right? If you have a two-dimensional universe like this, let me make the axis bigger. And then you yourself are a dot and you're stuck in a box. You cannot, a box of size 5 by 5, for example, you cannot reach any point that is beyond 5 units on the x-axis. You cannot reach them. However, just because you cannot reach them doesn't mean it stops going forever. This is what happens here. Right now, I cannot reach an infinitely far point in time. Right now. But as I keep playing, the box expands forever. It doesn't have an upper bound. My possible moves on the t-axis keep going up with no limit. Same on the p-axis. T doesn't have an upper bound. P doesn't have a lower or the upper.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can say the current bound and the ultimate bound, which as it expands.
I like the game. It's
You
fun.
can't,
It's
like-
creative. It's really well implemented. But it makes such a disservice to the concept of dimensions. I feel like there's going to be a huge swath of people who will just simply misunderstand what dimensions are simply because they played or seen this game. And I feel like this will do a major disservice to all of them. Hi, the Theo.
Well, I don't think so. I think basically we have already such a eyes and alternate dimensions to begin with that it's it wouldn't really hurt or help either way. They would continue to have equally as understanding after playing this game.
No, the reason why there's such an understanding is because of how often dimensions are portrayed in media with certain things assumed about them that aren't actually true. For example, fourth dimension, right? People will often say fourth dimension or the spatial dimension. They think of it as a place, which it's not. If fourth dimension would exist, it would be an axis, and we wouldn't even recognize that as the fourth dimension. There is no difference between the universe being flat on fourth dimension and fourth dimension not existing, because why would there be? Make it as a meme game. Please stop taking it so seriously. It's really hard for me, Ash. The game is all about strategy. If it's all about strategy, I need to think about it strategically, which I'm having a lot of trouble with. Hi, the returning upper. Hi, welcome. This is just caused me a headache, and that's it. I mean, it's interesting that at least I know how it's. I want to make a video about this now, just to clear it up. That's how bothered I am by it. Genuinely, that is genuinely how much I am bothered by it.
Damn. You know what? It would perform well because the
my-
videos on this game do perform well. I can tell you that.
Okay, this is a make it equivalent of me, of someone, imagine watching a video on flat Earth, right? This is how I feel like right now after playing the game. I have this need to correct this because this bothers me so much. Now refund the game. I'm not gonna. It feels like a dick move to refund it, doesn't it? I might need it for. I really want to make a video on it. We might need to just
Yeah.
put the fucking Obito's video on hold just because of how much I'm bothered by it. Oh my goodness, that really riled me up. And the worst part is I'm not even upset at the game because the developers clearly done a wonderful job of implementing it. And I have no... If anything, I'm mad at the players. Oh. Fuck it, we're doing it right now because okay, I mean, yeah.
Oh my god.
5D chess is not 5D. It's not 5 nor D. That's what I'm gonna call it. Because, I mean, it does have 4 dimensions, but I need to explain to people the difference, how dimensions operate.
Let's go.
Okay, here's what we'll have. We'll have intro, then introduction to the game, very briefly. Introduction to dimensions. Between dimensions. I will need to make, in this case, I will need to make an explanation of why time is different, why temporal dimensions are different from spatial, which is exclusively physics. Wikipedia calls it 4D. It does have 4, yes. But the thing that bothers me, the thing that bothers me is the extra optional rules, and it's really important to me that people understand they are optional because. Okay. Who even was it to convince me to play 4D chess, 5D chess in the first place? My issue is that you have 4. My issue is that you have 4 dimensions: 2 spatial, 1 temporal, and 1 that is unique to 5D chess. And what bothers me is that the fact that these dimensions are different is way more impactful than just the amount of dimensions. Like, you could have 3D chess, and if you had 1 temporal, 1 spatial, and 1 parallel dimension, then it would be just as difficult as this, even though you would just have it on a fucking line. The video about dimensions. I've already done like 3 videos about dimensions, because this really struck a nerve with me, because I feel like you all need to appreciate this. Appreciate just how much of a nerve it strikes with me. Because I genuinely don't think you understand how comically important it is. If I go into my playlists... No, let's go into videos. If I go into videos and just scroll by time, okay? Then scroll down, where is it? Let's do physics in 7 dimensions. A year ago, I have made a video about dimensions called Let's Do Physics in 7 Dimensions, and the entire premise of that video was that you could easily do physics in 7 dimensions and it wouldn't be any more difficult than physics in 3 dimensions. That's
I know what you mean.
Entire point of the video. Now, the reason why I made that video is because it was actually a better version of... There's no such thing as 4th dimension was also it, but not quite. There was a better version of a really old video I've made called Dimensions, which was just about the concept of dimensions, same premise. You can have any dimensions you want and it will not be difficult. And that video itself was actually a better version of video I've made 3 years ago. It looks like 2, but it was 3 because it was from the old channel, just called Dimensions. I have been explaining this concept for a really long time, and each time I wanted to make better and better video because of how important it was to me that people understand how dimensions work. Let me just start by saying that I like the premise, the game 5D chess. I think it's creative, and I do mean it. I genuinely am impressed with it. It's creative. I think it's fun. I think it's implemented really well. Oh my goodness, my Spotify just played Asgo by Toby Fox. You know, Katsi, do you know which song is the Asgo? Asgore song by Toby Fox.
Asgore.
Go.
Yeah, I know that one. The boss one.
No, but you know which one it is. DUI
Okay.
ho. That's what the remix was best called.
DUI.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean the
that's
original,
nice.
not the parody. The original is what I play, but you still.
I know. No.
Having said that, however, I think that it's done a great disservice to the concept dimensions and a major oh my goodness, I'm genuinely, I feel like I'm gonna finish this video in 3 days because of how just riled up I am. You see, everyone, life is all about taking all of the negative emotions just crammed inside you and turning them into productivity. That's what I do. Anger, depression, desperation, cram them all into a video. Yeah. A major harm, constant, a major harm to any explanation of the topic. Since how much time I've spent trying to explain it, I'm a tad bit offended. But okay, first let's do an introduction. Okay. Okay. What is the point of the game? Well, the point of the game is that it is just chess with more dimensions. You have your x like this, your y like this. Each time you make a move, a new board gets created on the time dimension, and then I think it's fun. I do think it's fun. I don't need much time to figure out if the game is fun or not. It is fun because it's different, and it does force you to think. But I am offended, deeply offended by it. Are you going to make 3D rendering for this video? Yeah, by the way, this whole introduction to the game, I'm not gonna do that in the game. I'm gonna have like a 3D chessboard with these pieces moving. That will just give me a bit more control for animation purposes.
Are you not gonna use the game?
Well, I am going to use some clips from the game, but this will just help me visualize it better.
I don't know.
Move a new board gets created on the time dimension. Unlike in normal chess, the past boards matter, and that's because you can actually move through them. The way it works is simple. I'll have to check it with all the pieces. I imagine all the pieces works. So the animation is enough to break my brain. Oh, what? See, can't see. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's the problem with dimensions. Italian Mapper just said 4D animation is enough to break my brain. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I can fucking prove it to you if you want. I can prove it to you that you can actually wrap your head around. Allow me to show you. Allow me to show you how I can. Allow me to give you a 4-dimensional. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. 6-dimensional. Let's do a 6-dimensional animation. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have an icosphere, alright? I'm going to have an icosphere. And the only thing that this icosphere will do is rotate. Just to have it really simple. Yeah, no, linear.
Yeah, I guess you mean.
Yeah, it's
like the way people animate for this is usually fucking silly, and that is unintuitive and shit.
I do understand what people would.
It could just be intuitive,
I do understand what people are specifically trying to explain geometry, but it's not.
Whenever somebody animates 4D, they try to animate 3D and 4D at the same fucking time.
Okay.
If you just
Italian mapper,
it's fucking easy.
Allow me to present to you. Hold on, because Blender froze. Allow me to present to you. Oh, whoops, hold on. Never mind, because I forgot that emission won't really operate in this way. So, allow me to present to you a 6-dimensional animation. You see, the important thing to remember, Italian mapper, is that when it comes to dimensions, we really like to think of dimensions as positions. We really like to think of dimensions as coordinates in space. Why? Well, it's because in real life, most of the time, we encounter dimensions as spatial things. We encounter dimensions as the XYZ coordinate. However, crucially, mathematically, dimension just means like an extra axis, effectively. And the reason why it's important is because in this case, each of these points on the icosphere is described by XYZ RGB, 6 coordinates, 6 dimensions. Now you may think that that's like a cheeky, that's smart. I appreciate you thinking that that's smart, but most of the gut reactions to this would be people wanting to punch me because they're like, oh, you're technically showing 6 dimensions. No. It is very important to understand that there is no difference between 6 dimensions, displaying them in a positional manner, or displaying them with other things like colors and such. Now yes, colors are limited, mainly because colors cannot go forever. So for example, whilst I can move this icosphere 1 million units on the x-axis, I cannot move it 1 million on the r-axis. So yes, that is true. However, the point is that really often you don't need to showcase different dimensions with position, and really often it is actively harmful. And as such, when I'm trying, for example, to explain quantum mechanics, then the functions there are are complex numbers, which means that if you want to actually showcase a function, a wave function, then you need to use 6 dimensions, right? Why? Because you have the x. Oh, hold on, because how it works. You have x real, you have x imaginary, you have y real, you have y imaginary, you have z real, you have z imaginary. So technically you need 6 dimensions, right? Well, yes, you do, because for each point you need to assign it, each point in space needs assigned 2 numbers. However, the way it is actually best done is with just a 3-dimensional shape with different colors representing the complex numbers. And the reason why it bothers me so much when you exclusively choose to think of dimensions as spatial coordinates, it's because it's so rare for you to actually work with dimensions as spatial coordinates. When you have 6-dimensional spheres, for example, you don't actually try to imagine a sphere. You just do mathematics with the sphere. I guess something in 4 dimensions is easy to imagine, which it's hard to imagine something in 4 spatial dimensions. Exactly, Dark. Exactly. Spot on. And the point, that is exactly my point. And the thing that is so important to remember, to realize, is that you almost never need something to have spatial dimensions. You learn something new every day. That was actually the point of my most recent dimensions video, which was the Let's Do Physics in 7 Dimensions. The whole point of that video, right? There we go. The whole point of Let's Do Physics in 7 Dimensions, this video, was that when you deal with physics, you most of the time just have a vector, like vector v, for example. And most of the time, you don't actually need to specify how many dimensions it has, which means an equation. So, for example, an equation that would give you the velocity of an object in 3 dimensions would look like this. Whilst an object in 7 dimensions would look like this. There is no difference between them. Because most of the time we do operate with just vectors. The problem is doesn't spatial dimensions have angles between them? How do you find an angle between x spatial axis and red color? Doug, what I want you to realize is that you don't need to display something in order to calculate the angle. You can calculate the angle without actually displaying something in dimensions. And if you can find an angle between well, you can't really find it between points, but if you can find an angle between x and y, then why wouldn't you be able to find an angle between x and r? There is no reason for you to be able to find an angle between one of these and not the other one. So basically, right here in Blender, hold on, I just turned off Blender. So basically, right here in Blender, I chose to display position. I chose to display XYZ with position and RGB with color. However, I don't have to do that. I could go the other way around because they're all just numbers. That's it. If I had a bit more time to prep, I would be able... in the video, I'm going to have more time to prep, and that's what I'll do. I'll make geometry nodes, which would take in XYZ RGB, and then I'm going to make some kind of animation, and then I'm going to swap around RGB with XYZ. So later on, I am going to choose to represent color with position and position with color, just to show you exactly what I mean. Simple, imagine boards stacked on top of one another. If you just move downwards through the boards, then there you go. This means playing chess in 3 dimensions, but 5D chess adds one more. It's funny because 5D and 4D. Terrible things about understanding conventionally the number -112. Yeah, like this sort of thing happens in science, and it bothers me so much. It's one more dimension, and that is the parallelization, as I chose to call it. Basically, each time you move on the t-axis back in time, you can create a new board parallel to the current one. Well, not current, well, current one in the past, so the current move. But the angle between 2 spatial dimensions have a clear meaning in physics. The abstract angle between color and space set only makes sense in pure math. But not quite. That is not quite true. How should I... No, I'm looking for an example I could give you. For example, this is going to be a bit advanced, so bear with me. Flavor rotation. Have you heard of flavor rotation? Wait, was it not rotation? I could have sworn it was flavor rotation. On the SU2. Oh, what do I need? Not flavor rotation. SU3 flavor. Phase rotation. Was it not flavor rotation with the SU3? Now I feel like I'm losing my mind because I made a video on this. Quarks. Flavor of quark. Well, oh, it wouldn't be quarks. It would be gluons. Yes. Flavor rotation. I just thought that. Rotate. Flavor. Spinners in a fundamental representation. I haven't learned much about quarks yet. I don't think anyone has. This is like very advanced university sort of thing. I don't know much about quarks. That's why I always avoid them in my videos, because they're just way too advanced for me. 8 color states. Fundamental representation. As in SU3 rather than U3 symmetry a priori. It might be in one of the papers. Question is, which one would it be? That's the paper I've already seen. I'm getting wildly off topic, aren't I? I could have sworn it was called rotation. It was something to do with rotation, and I refuse to believe it was spin.
I do some outro or something like that.
Flavor rotation. My goodness, I thought I was schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Good.
Flavors.
Okay, good. I'm glad that. Okay, so Dark. The point is, rotation. This is. It's gonna be a bit complicated, but the point is that in this case, flavor rotation doesn't refer to rotation in spatial dimensions. It doesn't refer to that. You don't need to rotate something in spatial dimensions. You don't need to find an angle in spatial dimensions in order for it to be meaningful. The only reason why you'd consider an angle between position and color meaningless is because you don't have a use for it. But that's a very arbitrary boundary, isn't it? That is a very arbitrary thing. I'll definitely explain it better in the video. In the video, I'll have everything ready. Doesn't care about 4D golf, I give up. What do you want me to do with 4D golf? What's up?
4D golf is actually 4D. It's not like.
Yeah, I know what 4D golf is. Yeah, I know what 4D golf is.
Okay.
Like, that's what I thought 5D chess would be.
Yeah.
I thought that the whole challenge would be keeping up of the all 5 dimensions in your head. I thought that was it. Parallel boards matter because you can move between them, and this is the 4th dimension. Now, yeah, 5D chess has 4 dimensions. I'm not upset. That understand funny name. In order to understand what I am upset about, we'll first discuss dimensions. Vacuum. See you. Alright, bye, Zone Mapper, bye, have a good one. Introduction dimensions. This will be a bit of a short video, won't be too much in there. So I suppose that there's no point in me to overdo it. Let's have a think. When it comes to dimensions in a vacuum, let's start by imagining a 2D universe with time. In this case, we can represent the two spatial dimensions as a square and the temporal one with height, like this. Now if we have a ball just moving left and right like so, then this is what it would look like with our representation. Could be. Now let's leave it for a second and let's simplify even further by talking about a universe with one dimension and no time. What would that look like? Okay. Present on color space makes sense to me. Like adding apples to apples and oranges to oranges. When you add apples to oranges, it gets confusing. I agree with you that it may be useless. However, the mark of if something is useful or not is completely arbitrary. From a mathematical point of view, irrelevant. So if you think about it, rotation between time and space could be just as useless, and could make just as little sense. However, if you're close enough to the speed of light, then time begins to look more and more like space, and then it would make more sense. I will be able to explain more in the videos I mentioned. Well, it could look like this with a point on the line. Moving in circle. There we go. So you can do it in math because it's all data in the end. Yeah, the point is that you can do it in math because it's all data in the end. In physics, you can still do it because it's all math. The only reason we don't do it is because we don't have a need for it. However, if it's only physics you talk about, then, well, most of the time you only have 3 spatial dimensions. In the land of computer science, however, and software, all is irrelevant. We make the rules, and as such, we make the meaning. Which means that in the land of software, if you want to visualize rotation between position and color, you can. I will do it in this video, because it really is trivial. So when it comes to physics, unless you have a theory that really works, rotation between color and position really doesn't need to make sense, doesn't have to exist. But we're not talking about physics here, because physics is all the kind of worms. And in physics, the concept, you wouldn't really have many dimensions most of the time, unless you really know what you're doing. Point on the line. The whole point of a dimension is that we have a number we can change for that point, like a 2 right now. As we change the number, its position changes. That is one dimension. In 2 dimensions, we'd have 2 lines and 2 axes and 2 numbers. We can change these numbers and there we go. Our point moves. The same way we can add a third dimension. There we go. Reached 3 dimensions. But what if we wanted 4? Well, can't show that. I just get confused when they say to me, it's 4-dimensional along with 3 spatial ones, but this explanation cleared up for me. It is to be because it's useful, mathematically possible. Yeah, the whole point is that when you have dimensions of the same type, you cannot differentiate between them. So I don't know how far I want to go. So my favorite example is that there is no difference between 4th spatial dimension existing and the universe being flat on it. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference. The entire universe could be perfectly flat on the 4th dimension, or the 4th dimension could not exist. We just can't tell the difference between individual dimensions. You can only move in one direction if... You can only move in one direction if in one of the dimensions we have. What do you mean time? But time is temporal. That's a different type of dimension whatsoever. That's why I said they need to be of the same type. That's important. That's why we say that our universe has 3 + 1 dimensions, not 4. Because those would be 2 different things.
Yeah.
It's really ramped me up, hasn't it? I mean, Blender animates 3 dimensions, not 4. Impossible. Right? Well... Because what if we have our point and instead of representing these values with position, I represent them with color. The first one describing the red, second the green, third the blue. Now, I'm way off from just working on the Orbitals video. I'm making all the video. Just banger of a headache. It's been 3 hours, my goodness.
Banker, that's what it do, no?
Yeah. I feel like I
need some medication. Really help you.
My mystery pills, where are they? I still have them on my desk. Still waiting. How many more videos are you gonna release this month? However many I'll be able to make. I'll keep making until I release them all.
That is what he do. He make it.
Looks like.
And he take them video.
This instinct to say, make it. This. These aren't real dimensions. These. Of course. And I understand that instinct. But I want you to realize is a mathematical concept, and you can choose to represent them however you'd like. This will be fun when we go later on, actually.
Meow.
Middle East, eh?
Isn't it funny that I fucking developed a tick when I just meow randomly?
I love randomly. We all have something. Just like you can represent the number 3 with a digit, a size, or even apples, you can represent dimensions with whatever you want. In this case, we have 3 dimensions represent with space, 1 dimension with scale, and 3 dimensions with color. Oh my goodness. I'm genuinely curious how long it will take me to make this video, because it's not going to be a long video, and I feel like I might get a solid chunk of it done just today. Color. I'll just change these values around. Just create a bunch of points in our 7-dimensional space. This is what they would look like. And in this case, I am genuinely going to create like a 7-dimensional space in Blender, because it's not really all that difficult.
Yeah, it's not that bad, as they may seem you to believe. Those damn liberals.
5 spatial dimensions would be pretty neat, although this just see how you disappointed. Yeah, like I was expecting I genuinely was expecting just 5-dimensional chess, where the 5th dimension would be time. I was expecting like 4 spatial dimensions and 1 time, because I've heard that it was with time. So I knew about that. And so I just thought the difficulty was in like, you know, the fact that you have a board, like a chessboard, and all of a sudden the rook just disappears. And the reason why it disappears is because it went to like a higher plane. And you know, you would need to go through all of these planes and just keep track of everything, and then eventually you'd forget and you just get skewed by another axis. That's what I was expecting.
Which is sensible.
Yeah. Like the whole difficulty that you know you cannot display 3 dimensions, so I mean you can display 4 dimensions, so you need to go through them and such.
Yeah.
What they would look like. What's more, I can even create only a point. This 7-dimensional space. This is what it would look like. Mickey, last time I've been here, I haven't seen him in a hot minute. I think he's on the Discord server.
Yes.
Have you played Fisher Random? What is Fisher Random? Let me look it up.
I think it's a chess variant, probably.
Fisher Random.
Okay, it's chess variant. He doesn't play chess either, so I don't think why you're even asking these questions, you know?
Oh, it randomizes positions of pieces on the back rank, I see.
Yeah. It do that. I didn't mean to say it like that.
Point like so. So in this case, it may seem just like a cheap trick. I mean, I'm effectively just moving the point in a circle. And its color and size. But the crucial thing I really want you to understand is that the dimensions are not connected to the way we represent them. And as such, I can just go into the geometry nodes and plug in RGB into XYZ and XYZ in RGB. So the underlying movement didn't change. It's just that now I'm representing color with position and position with color. I can mess it up even more like this, so on, so forth. There we go. That's what we'll start with. Creating like geometry nodes that will have position, color, scale as trivial, and switching them about, that's also trivial. So that I can easily do that. And that will already be very descriptive, the point I'm trying to make. So us. Being the way we choose to represent dimensions is completely irrelevant. But really want to if you do, we can move on to the second point, which is why do we always leave time out. Points moving in 3 dimensions. Why do we always present time with time and space with space? Genius question.
So smarty. I think it might be it for this stream because it's been going on for 3 hours and I need a bit of a break. I am still going to angrily script the video. Don't worry about it. I just need to go and make myself some food and such. I genuinely just woke up today, started the stream immediately, got really upset over dimensions, and and here we are. So, are we gonna play more funny chess later?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna in a very determined manner script the video for now.
I mean, you're gonna play more than fucking 2 minutes, so like
I'll see.
It's kinda goofy to do recent. Is the fuck? What's the word? Review of a game.
I'm not making a review of a game. I'm talking about mathematics. And for now, that'll be it. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.